Sometimes the first ball you hit is not the ball you're trying to make. Welcome back, everybody. In today's video, I'd like to show you what I do to execute a combo shot and a carom shot. Because in this game, you don't always have an opportunity to shoot a ball directly into a pocket. So let's get started. So first, let's talk about combo shots, where you use the first object ball that you hit with the cue ball to make a different object ball. As in this example shot here, if I were playing a game of 9-ball, I'm not able to make the 1 ball directly into the side pocket because it's blocked by the 2 ball. But in a game of 9-ball, as long as you hit the lowest ball on the table first, and then another ball drops after that initial contact, you can still continue to shoot. Unless, of course, you were fortunate enough to make the 9-ball in that scenario, because then you win the game. Also, in a game of 8-ball, if you were solids and you wanted to make the 2 ball into the side pocket, as long as you make contact with another solid first, and then the 2 ball were to drop after that, you can still continue to shoot. So what those two scenarios allow us to do is we can hit the 1 ball first with the cue ball and then use the 1 ball to pocket the 2 ball into the side pocket. Now, as far as aiming for a simple combination shot like this, because that 2 ball is so close to the side pocket that I want to make it in, I pretty much pretend that it's not even there. And what I'm actually going to do is line up to make the 1 ball in the side pocket. And as long as I do that, I'm going to pocket the 2 ball. And that's going to look something like this. And I'm even fortunate enough to make the 1 ball as well. Now here's a combination shot for the game of 9-ball. It's not as easy as the last shot I demonstrated, but the same principle still applies. I've got an opportunity to win the game here because I can combo the 1 ball into the 9-ball that's sitting so close to that corner pocket. And then just like from the last shot, because that 9-ball is sitting so close to the corner pocket, I'm going to ignore that it's even there. And using the ghost ball aiming method on the 1 ball, I'm going to find the contact spot on the 1 ball to make it into the corner pocket. And then I'm going to move my tip back about 1 inch so I can see where the center of the ghost ball is that allows me to pocket the 1 ball into that corner pocket. But since the 9 ball is there, the 9 ball is going to fall instead and allow me to win the game, which looks something like this. Easy win. Now you're not always going to have an opportunity to play an easy combination shot like the last 2 shots that I've demonstrated, where the object ball that you want to make is so close to the pocket that you want to make it in. So have a look at this example here. This is for a game of 8-ball and I'm currently shooting solids. And because of where the cue ball is at, I don't see an easy way for me to play the 1, the 5, the 6, or the 7 directly into any pocket. I do see, though, that I have a chance to combo the 1 ball into the 7 ball and have the 7 ball fall in that corner pocket over there. And in order for me to do that, I'm going to have to cut the 1 ball to my left in order to use the 1 ball to cut the 7 ball to my right, just for it to have a chance to go in. So how do I line all that up? Well, since I know the 1 ball is going to be the first ball that I'm going to hit, I'm going to pretend that it's a cue ball and line up to hit the 7 ball until I can see that the 7 ball will go into the corner pocket. The center of the 1 ball is going to be my contact spot. So as soon as I feel that I'm actually going to make the 7 ball, I'm just going to drop my stick down onto the table so I can see where the center of the ghost ball is, giving me my aiming spot for the 1 ball. Now, as long as I measured all that up correctly, this is what the combination shot should look like. And not only did I make the combination shot, I also have position to play the next shots. And the last thing I want to talk about for combination shots is what you heard me say at the end of the previous shot, where not only did I make the combination, but I had position on another ball so that I can continue shooting. Meaning that not only is it important for you to be able to make the combination shot, but you have to have an idea of where all the balls in motion are going to end up so that you can play position. Now have a look at this example here. This is another game of 8-ball, and I'm shooting solids. I currently cannot play the 1-ball or the 3-ball directly into any pocket. But I can combo the 1-ball into the 3 and have the 3-ball fall in this corner pocket over here. But if I do that, where's the 1-ball going to end up? Well, just like in the previous shot, I'm going to use the 1-ball as a cue ball so that I can line up and see where and how I have to hit the 3-ball in order for it to go in. And for this shot, I have to cut the 3-ball to my left, which automatically tells me that the 1-ball is going to go off and to the right and will possibly land somewhere over here near this corner pocket. And since I know that, I can play position for that and have the cue ball land somewhere right here to where after I make the combination shot, I will have a shot on the 1-ball. So let's line up the 1-ball to make the 3-ball. The center of the 1-ball is going to be my contact spot for the combination. I lay my stick down onto the table so I can see where the center of the ghost ball is. And let's see if I can make this combination. And now it looks like I can win the game. And that's all that I have for combination shots. So let's move on over to carom shots. Because with carom shots, there's actually two different ways you can execute them. And the first way that we're going to go over is very similar to a combination shot, because we still use the cue ball to make initial contact with the first object ball. But instead of having that object ball pocket a different object ball, we're still going to use the cue ball to pocket a different object ball after that initial contact. And in order to do that, we have to have the basic understanding of where does the cue ball go after making contact with an object ball. Well, I actually covered that already in my natural roll video that I will link right over here. So have a look at this example here for a game of 9-ball. We're currently on the 2-ball, and of course, we have an option to bank the 2-ball here into the cross-side pocket, or we can even cut the 2-ball all the way down into the corner and attempt to play position on the 6-ball. But I see that the 9-ball is so close to this corner pocket here, and because I have that basic understanding of knowing that if I cut the 2-ball to my right, the cue ball will go off and to the left, which gives me the opportunity to pocket the 9-ball after contacting the 2-ball and win the game. The question becomes, where exactly do I have to hit on the 2-ball in order to get the cue ball to come off at the correct angle that will allow me to pocket the 9-ball? Well, if you've seen my natural roll video, you should have an understanding of when the cue ball slides into the object ball, it will go off at a 90-degree angle in the opposite direction from which the object ball is going to travel. So to line this shot up, all I'm going to do is just lay my cue down in line to where I want to make the 9-ball. What I'm not going to do is line up to where I'm going to hit the 9-ball straight in the face, because I don't want to risk the cue ball following the 9-ball afterwards and scratching. So I actually decided to pick a line to where I'm actually going to cut the 9-ball in, which should help me avoid the scratch. Now you might not be able to notice it on the video, but my cue is actually laying about an inch away from the 2-ball because it gives me an idea of where the ghost ball is going to be, and I can see where the contact spot on the 2-ball is going to be. But I'm not going to aim at the contact spot, remember. I'm going to aim at the aiming spot, which is going to be about right here on the table. So as long as I can hit the 2-ball at that correct spot and have the cue ball slide into the 2-ball, then the cue ball should go off at a 90-degree angle, cut the 9-ball into the corner pocket, and also avoid the scratch. Let's see how this works. And I win the game. Now, I forgot to mention on my last shot, where exactly did I hit the cue ball in order to get it to travel across the tangent line? Well, because the cue ball was about a foot away from the object ball, I simply hit the cue ball directly in the center. Because if you can remember from my natural roll video that when you hit the cue ball directly in the center, it will slide about a foot across the table before it starts to pick up any forward roll. But what about if the cue ball was further away than a foot from the object ball? Well, then you're going to have to apply some amount of backspin and be able to choose the right amount of power such that as the cue ball is traveling across the table spinning backwards, at some point in time before contact is made, the backspin has to die out, allowing the cue ball to slide back into the object ball, and therefore it'll travel perfectly across the tangent line. Now sometimes you might not even be able to use the tangent line in order to make a carom shot. Sometimes you might have to draw behind the tangent line using bottom spin, and other times you might have to follow above the tangent line using top spin. It all just depends on the scenario. So have a look at this example here. We're still playing 9-ball and we're on the 2-ball, but we don't have a pocket that we can put the 2-ball in, so we're still going to try to make the 9-ball after making contact with the 2-ball. But in this example, it would be less than ideal for me to try to use the tangent line here, because in order to get the cue ball to travel across this tangent line, I'm going to have to hit the 2-ball almost head in the face. And because we're making such a full contact on the 2-ball, I'm going to have to hit the cue ball rather hard just to get it to travel all the way across here and make the 9-ball in the corner pocket. So instead, we're going to try to draw the cue ball off of the 2-ball and make the 9-ball in the corner pocket. But where on the 2-ball am I going to have to hit in order to do that? Well, there's this very simple system that helps us figure that out. We start by drawing a line straight through the 2-ball to the contact spot of the 9-ball. And just like before, we don't want to go straight into the 9-ball because we don't want the cue ball to follow in after the 9-ball and scratch. So where this line exits the 2-ball, we have to remember where on the 2-ball that line actually was, which was about right here. Because then next, we're going to draw a line straight through the cue ball to the 2-ball, and remember this spot when the line actually touches the 2-ball. So we have a contact spot here, and we have a contact spot here. And so where we want the cue ball to actually contact the 2-ball to draw into the 9-ball is directly in the middle of these two spots, which is going to be right about here. Now, how much draw and how much power are you supposed to use? Just like in my top spin and my bottom spin videos, I don't have a direct answer for that. You just have to be able to play around with it and know that based on how far you want the ball to actually travel, you're going to have to hit it a little bit harder. If it's not going to travel as far, you'd have to hit it a little bit softer. But after enough practice and with enough experience, you can pretty much hone it in to something like this. And you still walk away a winner. And for this last shot, we're going to attempt to make the cue ball travel above the tangent line so that we can carom off of the 1-ball and pocket the 9-ball into the corner pocket. Because in this particular example, the 6-ball is actually preventing us from contacting the 1-ball in such a way that we can use the natural tangent line to carom into the 9. Now, sadly enough, I can't find anywhere on the internet that will explain where exactly we have to hit on the 1-ball, how much topspin you have to apply onto the cue ball, and how hard to hit the cue ball in order to get an accurate carom shot using topspin. So this is the best way I know how to explain it for how I actually try to execute these types of shots. What I'm going to do is, with a center ball hit, I'm going to start by just aiming to see how much of the 1-ball I can actually hit, just to see where the tangent line is actually going to take me. And from this particular angle that I've chosen, I can see that the natural tangent line will actually take me here, in between these two diamonds, just past the side pocket. And from here, I now know that I have to make the cue ball travel up 1, 2.5 diamonds, just so I have a chance to be able to pocket the 9-ball into the corner pocket. And because of that, I'm going to try to use 2 tips worth of topspin, and I'm going to hit this cue ball rather softly. Because if you can remember from my top spin and my bottom spin videos, that the harder you hit the cue ball, the farther the cue ball is going to travel across the tangent line before any of the spins actually take effect. And in this particular case, I want the top spin to take effect as soon as possible so that I either don't contact this side rail at all, or I contact it late enough to where I can still pocket the 9-ball into the corner pocket. So let's see how this works. I get down starting with center ball just so I can see where the tangent line is going to go. And then I apply my 2 tips worth of topspin. And then let's see if I can make the 9 ball. Not the best of systems, but at least it does work with enough practice. Now, I actually almost ended this lesson without showing you the second way to perform a carom shot. That's my mistake, and I apologize. All of my previous examples demonstrated how to perform a carom shot using the cue ball. When you hit the first object ball, you control the cue ball to make a different object ball. So the second way to perform a carom shot is the first ball that you actually make contact with is the ball that you're trying to make. It's just that that ball doesn't have a direct path to any pocket. So what you have to do is you have to find another ball that you can carom the first ball off of into the designated pocket that you want. So have a look at the lay of the table. We're playing a game of 9 ball, so starting with the 1 ball, you should see that the 1 ball does not have a direct path to any pocket. But take a look at this 2 ball. Let's pretend right now that we're actually wanting to shoot the 2 ball and cut it here into the corner pocket from where the cue ball's at. Hopefully we should all know by now that if I actually try to execute that shot, my cue ball is going to scratch in the side pocket, won't it? But you know what? Let's actually use that bit of information. Because what if I hit the 1 ball into the 2 ball the same exact way? That means the 1 ball should go into the side pocket and I would still be able to shoot. So how do you measure all that? Just like before, we're going to use the 1 ball as the cue ball and see where I have to hit the 2 ball in order for it to go into the side pocket. And then using the ghost ball method so I can see where I actually have to aim to hit the 1 ball, to go into the 2, and then fall into the side pocket. And just like before, I have to have an idea of where all the balls that are in motion are going to end up, because now I have position on the 2 ball, and I can still continue to run the table. And that's going to do it for today's lesson. I hope that I was able to provide you with enough information to improve your accuracy at making combination shots and carom shots. If you found this video helpful, give me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Take care, everybody.